Let's learn how to do a goblet squat. A goblet squat can be done with either a kettlebell or a dumbbell. Goblet simply refers to the position of the weight during the movement. You'll notice I have a couple of tools set up here. I have the weight that I'm going to use today. I'm going to demonstrate this with a kettlebell. And then I have a box because I'm going to set myself a target that I'm going to tap between every rep when I do the squat. We do this with all of our clients simply because it creates a standard that every single time they know they're hitting the depth that is appropriate for them for their squat, and we're not creating too much variation in each rep of the movement. The second thing you'll notice is I have this orange beam set up. With all of our clients, we have them elevate their heels anytime they do a squat pattern. And the reason is because it simply cleans up the way everybody's squat looks. You don't have to access as much ankle mobility, and it just generally feels better for a lot of people. So to start, to do a goblet squat, you're gonna need a weight. So again, for me, I'm gonna use a kettlebell. I will talk about how to decide on what weight to use here in a moment. But once you have your weight, whether you're using a kettlebell or a dumbbell, you're gonna hold it right up on your sternum. For a kettlebell, I'm gonna grab the kettlebell by its horns, fully gripping it, place the kettlebell up on my sternum, and then I'm gonna tuck my elbows almost as if I'm trying to get them underneath that kettlebell. Now the entire my shoulder system is holding the weight, whereas if I have my elbows out, now only my wrists are holding the weight. So elbows are tucked in. I'm gonna elevate my heels on the beam. My feet are about shoulder width and they're slightly turned out. My toes are slightly turned out. The cues I'm going to use, I'm simply gonna sit down between my heels and let my knees track over my center toes, tap the box, come up. Tap the box, come up. You'll notice this height of the box is pretty high for me. So if I notice that, I'm going to simply get rid of some of the height of the box. And my goal is to to be able to squat down to either at or just below parallel, meaning my hips are at the same level of my knees or just below my knees. So again, I'm gonna pick up that weight, put it right up on my sternum, elbows are tucked in, heels up, sit down between my heels, tap the box, come up. That's a better height for me. When we prescribe these, we often prescribe them in 8 to 12 reps if you're just going for general strength and muscle building. If you want to favor strength, you would go on the lower end of the reps and heavier weight. If you're favoring mostly muscle building, you're going to go on the higher end of the reps and focusing on a moderately heavy weight. Okay. So I just used a 16 kilo kettlebell, which is about 35 pounds. What happens if you're new to strength training, you're new to this movement, and holding a weight feels too heavy? The way I would tell you to start then is to do a press out squat. So here I have a 10-pound plate. We also have 5-pound plates that you can use. Same setup for the movement, except I'm gonna hold the plate on either side right at my chest. As I go down, I'm gonna reach the plate out as a counterbalance, tap my butt, and then pull the plate in on the way up. This is a great way to simply practice the movement pattern, and now you're completing the movement with just body weight to build up that foundational strength in order to do it with a kettlebell or a dumbbell. What if you've been doing this movement for a while, or you're an advanced lifter, and you're looking for a way to challenge this movement so that it's appropriate for your training age? Well, in that case, I've been training since 2005, and I still do goblet squats, but the way I do them now is often I'll do it in a double front rack kettlebell. So what that means is I'm gonna get the kettlebells up in a front rack position, hands toward the center, elbows are up, elevate my heels, same pattern, squat down, tap my butt, come up. This not only now challenges my upper body strength and my core strength, but it allows me to increase the total load that I'm carrying as I do the squat. That is a goblet squat. Have fun.